SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
This show is brought to you by Sledge & Company Financial LLC. I'm Taylor Sledge, founder and CEO. At Sledge & Company, we help businesses and families do better with their money. Check us out on the web at sledgecompany.com. That's sledgecompany.com.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Steve Azar here, always grateful for you tuning in and allowing me to learn to listen. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Speaking of working on things, work on a road trip to your Mississippi. Go to visitmississippi.org. You've got the Writers Trail, the Freedom Trail, the Blues Marker Trail, the Country Marker Trail, which I'm so grateful to be on. But plan a road trip, fall in love with your Mississippi all over again. All right, today I've got two guests. I'm excited about these two. Former mentees, is that even a word, from the wonderful show Banded, the musician competition that is on Tubi TV now. A shout out to my pal Joe Norelli, who is the executive producer on this thing, who made this happen. We're going to give him a lot of love. And Dana Kamai and the gang over there spent a lot of time on this TV show. And I was blessed to be a mentor on and get to know today's guest. First guest, number one, her start in piano, very young age, but knew she wanted to sing. So her piano teacher taught her voice lessons, and she was soon a member of the Phoenix Children's Choir from Arizona, by the way, not Mississippi. She discovered classic rock once her father, and I can tell you, Jimmy the Jeweler Chase, introduced her to Wayne's World, the soundtrack. Are you kidding? From then on, she felt rock and roll was in her blood. It was just a calling. She started teaching voice, guitar, and piano to Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Foundation, which is how a lot of us got to know each other, which is how she found out about the show Banded. She competed on Banded with her band Monochromatics. Pretty dang awesome. And is now settled down in Nashville with her partner, who's on the line with me as well, who just happens to be my second guest. Born and raised in Hobart, Indiana. He first got his foot into the music industry with studying classical piano at the tender age of 8. His dad taught him guitar by the time he was 12, and from that age, he's been performing at bars, clubs, weddings, you name it. Wherever they would let him, like me back in the day, that's how you do it. He moved to Chicago after graduating high school to perform in a rock band, touring throughout the Midwest at festivals such as South by Southwest, the Warped Tour, and Summerfest. In 2021, he moved to Nashville to be a contestant. One of my other mentees on Banded. When he's not performing, he's teaching piano, guitar, and bass lessons. These two are educators. They're taking what was given to them, and they're giving it right back. These are two incredibly talented, beautiful souls, and I love the fact that they're together. It makes the world a better place, and it makes Nashville a whole lot better, I can tell you. From the cool hit TV show Banded, Alicia Chase and Billy Cox. Hello, guys.
Hello, hey, Steve.
What's up, man?
Well, y'all could be the first two that's ever holding hands on my show. I love that. Look at that. I wish my listeners could see it, but you can see things on the radio if you visualize it. So everybody, these are two really good people. I appreciate y'all taking the time. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Also, my stepdad, Doug, he's hilarious. He's always told me I have a good face for radio.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
He knows. We give each other a hard time. Shout out, Doug.
Yeah, we're going to shout out. I may have to see him in the alley for saying that. All right, so let's start with y'all's careers and lives growing up. I know that y'all aren't too far removed from your childhood days. So you guys should get the story right. A lot of my guests, it's been such a long time, then they have to really think about it. With all seriousness and all kidding aside, and Alicia, let's start with you. I see that this background, I know your dad has a crazy passion. He's one of the greatest jewelry makers in the country, a true artist. And obviously we got to know each other through Joe Norelli, just one of the most generous men, huge for our foundation, one of the most beautiful men I've ever met in my life. That's how we all are on the phone together, and I'm just so grateful for that. Talk about your childhood, and were you into anything else, like sports or anything as well, growing up in Arizona?
Yeah. So, cheers to that. Amen to that, to Joe and all that good stuff. What a cool dude. So growing up in Arizona, actually, I was a pretty avid soccer player, from a really young age, like YMCA days. And then like around middle school, started to realize I was actually pretty good at it. So, I was just playing competitively on some like premier level teams for my age bracket. Year after year, and just working my way up in the soccer scene in Arizona. I ended up representing my age group on the Olympic development team. It's called ODP. So I did that when I was in 8th grade. And there's one point where I was playing on 3 teams. I was on my middle school team, the Olympic team, Premier League team, which had games Saturdays and Sundays. Man, I was just like working it, and I really enjoyed it. Looking back, I don't know how, after taking Billy to Arizona in July this month, I'm like, how did I play soccer in this? It's crazy.
Because you were young and you didn't even think about the heat.
Jeez. Oh, my God. Yeah. I've passed away just walking around the mall outside this past trip. Oh, my God. But yeah, so I was really into that. And then my middle school put on a musical every year. If you got to be a part of the musical, it was actually really cool. Like all the kids, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade wanted to be a part of that. And it was always a really cool production, and our drama team was really neat. So I was always in choir and such like that. And, I took the piano lessons, but soccer was really what I was focusing on for like education, future purposes. But, I got really lucky, and I read for all the musicals all 3 years. I never got into it because I'm like not a dancer or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they couldn't cast the part for Bye Bye Birdie for like the mom, and she's like an overbearing Jewish woman from Brooklyn and a big character, like the comic relief character. And since I got into Wayne's World and all of that stuff, I started watching the old Saturday Night Lives, and Mike Myers' character, Linda Richmond. I like asked the director if I could try out for that character, but like do it that way, and they let me do it, and they were like, oh my God, that's hilarious. So I got that part, and I was like, oh my God, I think I love theater, but I never really pursued it after that because I was on all those teams at the same time playing and like doing all that. But they just kind of opened the door for me, and my dad busted out the guitar that I saw in the attic, and he restringed it with me, and we were strung it, whatever. And so, like, I just always knew I had something to do with music, but it kind of always took the back seat, entertaining and all that. But I really got into it once I was on my own after school and stuff. And it was just more like a hobby at that point that I would do and just learn stuff kind of on my own. And nothing I really pursued like Billy here, But it's always just been in my pocket that I can do it. I don't really read music. I can read tabs, but like I'm good at teaching people like how I get it, or like, stuff like that. So that's how I got into solid rock. I was like, I can teach these kids some stuff, and that was really wholesome experience as well. And I love Alice and his family and the foundation. Super cool. Good cause.
You were doing this at what age with Alice?
With Alice, I moved away to Dallas after middle school, and I was there for 14 years. And then I moved back to Phoenix when I was like 26 maybe. And that's when I started doing that because my dad, Jimmy, ended up being on the board with Alice's Solid Rock Foundation. And he was like, I think you'd be really good at spending some time there. And I really did. I had a really good time doing that. So.
Wow, what a giving back. I love that. All that is being done, Alice and his teen centers. And I had a feeling that you were an athlete. I just got to tell you, I had a class that was very athletic, and we were trying to win every state title and everything. We failed a lot, but we had some success. I think that sports kept me competitive in the music business. I always talk about it. I'm going to sound like a broken record right now. to my listeners have heard this. I'm a believer that learning to lose and accept it and how to handle it and how to get better and how to learn from mistakes, same thing in the music business. Let's take a quick break so we can come back on the other side and talk to Billy and get to know him as well. We're talking to Alicia Chase and Billy Cox, two crazy talented, I could call them kids. They could be my kids. Anyway, the hit show Banded on Tubi TV. You got to check it out. I'm a mentor on it. This is how I've been able to get to know Billy and Alicia. It's a cool show. Very unique. Vince Neil from Motley Crue is one of the judges. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of Vince Neil and music and Billy and Alicia, we are the birthplace of America's music down here in Mississippi. I can't wait to have them on Mississippi soil, breaking out the guitars and piano and those pipes up there. So we'll be right back on Steve Azar.
With my little boy, singing a lullaby with my baby girl. Well, I'm all packed up, and I pray you still need me. Oh, I know it's late. Please pick up the phone, 'cause your soldier's finally coming home. Yeah, your soldier's finally coming home.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
I've always believed.
Visit Mississippi.org, plan a road trip. Are you kidding me? Come on, come see us down here. The birthplace of America's music. I mean, come on, the king of rock and roll, the king of the blues, the father of country. I mean, we got it all right here. We hadn't even gone to church yet. When we go there, it's another whole level of brilliance. Grateful to be born here, and if I'm not born here, there's no way I'm doing this for a living, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that. Alicia Chase and Billy Cox are grateful as well. They're doing it for a living. They're in Nashville. They're doing what I did. They're spending their time there, and hopefully they can move back to Phoenix or Indiana when it's all said and done. But right now they got things to conquer. I met Billy as well on the show Banded. I saw him playing guitar. I feel like he was born in my era or even my older brother's era. There was something about him as a guitar player that was just, it was a deeper level. And it just reminded me of the past. Everything great about the past. He's got a great heart. Billy, so tell me, growing up in Indiana, you got Mellencamp there. You've got such great music. You've got great basketball.
Man, what a great small town that I came from, man. You know, it's very, you know, everybody kind of knew everyone. Lots of close family and friends. You know, my hometown is Hobart, Indiana. So we were more on the northwest side of that state. So, like, I would probably almost call us, like, closer to Chicago. Like, I know my parents watched, like, the Bulls and the Cubs and the Bears and all that growing up. So I just kind of did that with them. We would go down to Indianapolis here and there, but Chicago was, like, more the big city. But man, growing up there, it was fun, you know. You know, like you mentioned, I did some private piano lessons, and it's kind of where I got my start with the whole music thing. And my piano teacher, you know, took the time and the patience every week to teach me, you know. And obviously, some weeks I started by reading music, you know, but there would be some weeks that were different. You know, I was still a kid, so I'd be motivated and I'd be unmotivated, so kind of hitting or missing. But, you know, my parents pushed me and supported me to stick with it. So I stuck it out. And eventually, you know, I found myself playing at my elementary school. Like, we would do like holiday things, and they would get me up on stage. And I remember that being like my first performance was playing piano for my whole elementary school, you know, like every year. So that would kind of get my feet wet in front of people. And then, you know, not long after that, about middle school, my dad invited me on stage to play with him and the family. And so that's where I really learned a lot about, how it all goes and how it's kind of set up. You know, I never realized that the time before and after is just as important as the time on stage. You know, it's a lot of work and practice to get going.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I made my first $100 bills, my dad, or $100 bill my dad, he gave me, and I was like, man, you can make money doing this. So I was like, this is kind of cool. You know, I genuinely enjoyed it though. I had a love for it, I feel like. And, I took that love into high school. I did marching band. I played trumpet in the marching band, and then we would march down in Florida at, Disney World. We'd do like parades and all that. And then during that time, I actually set up my first rock band with my two other friends. So we had a trio that we would play. We came from the pep band and all that stuff, but we branched away and we did like summer parties, like graduation parties and stuff like that. And,
sure. Yeah.
I was a singer in that band. I wasn't much of a singer. I'm not like just Miss Alicia here, but
go.
She can definitely go, man. But I got out what I could and started writing music with them and recording music as well. So I would go and just do some demos, you know, try my best to get some cool mixes and stuff like that. And became very interested in the recording world. And I graduated high school. Then, like you said, moved to Chicago. Started doing that. The original band up there. Still trying to record and produce. And then, you know, I was there for about 3 years, and I came back home and then just did a bunch of I was in a bunch of cover bands and still practicing my craft on recording. And then I got a job at a music store, and then eventually I was a teacher and studio teacher there, which was great. So I saved up by doing that for about 3 years, and then that's when I made my move. And to this day, I'm still teaching the kids that I taught in person when I started that shop. You know, so I'm very blessed to share that.
Wow, are you seeing some real growth?
It's just through the roof. You know, it's come down to a select few that absolutely want it 100%, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like their parents are paying for it. You know, these kids are in it, and they're starting out too. They're doing like marching band, these little one-off gigs that they're not even high school yet. And I just know that when they continue with it, like something good's going to happen. And it's so cool to watch it unfold. It's very rewarding, and like, it makes you feel good knowing that like I can help.
Y'all cracking me up now, because I taught tennis growing up and in high school for the park commission, and I taught guitar when I was growing up as well. And I felt like I was a therapist for about 80% of them, maybe more. And then that little small group was like, okay, you know, there's a reason that we're out there, because they would tell me about their problems, and they wouldn't practice, you know, and they would come back and they'd never get any better. And I'd tell their parents, I said, I think you're wasting your money on this. And they would, oh, no, we feel like you're good for them. I said, well, you may want to do a background check. I don't know how good, but I used to crack up. But you make a good point there, because I was curious to see who's panning out or who's putting the work in. My buddy Barry Bays in my band down here that I grew up at Delta State with, he's played with everybody, and he's played on, or not all of my records since I've been back. And any acts I produce, he's phenomenal. He's been teaching there ever since. And him and Norbert Putnam were big. Norbert built this Delta Music Institute where I'm the artist in resident. I want to get y'all down to see the kids there. There's 100 and something kids in the curriculum. It's one of the biggest ones in the country now. And the studio will blow your mind. It's where we used to play basketball. And it's insane. So there's Studio ABC. We've got, Atmos. And our foundation supports those programs with scholarships a lot. But I go in there once a month and disrupt things. One of his kids he taught from the age of 5 is with Christina Aguilera now. I mean, she comes from the Delta. He plays bass for him. Talent pool of people that really work hard. It's just amazing. So family band, Billy?
So my dad, basically my dad and my uncles, his brothers. He had about like 3 uncles, and we just got together, and you know, it was fun because it was so you know, I've learned a lot being in bands and all the stuff that goes in and out, like the business side of things and what have you. But before all that, man, I just couldn't think of a better way to jump into that field than with my family. So like my dad was it was just always a good time, man, whether it was at a bar or bonfires or family gatherings. My mom could sing a little bit, you know, but she mainly just kind of supported, didn't really play. But you know, not to change the subject, but like you mentioned tennis, I was a big tennis guy. I wasn't no Olympic level player like
Yeah.
He's great at every single thing he does. He's taken the goal.
I believe it. So did
He's
you
been
compete?
very humble.
Did you do the whole USTA thing in the summers and compete and all that?
So I only did high school. I mean, we got sectionals, we would get to regionals, but then we get crushed in regionals because we were a real small school amongst big ones. But I lettered all 4 years, so I was.
Wow, I love it. See, that we got to get together and try to go back out there.
When we first started talking, like after Banded, like when we were buddies, obviously, but like when I was like, dang, Billy's he's pretty cute and he's so nice. He's such a good person. But anyways, I was trying to lure him into like seeing me more. And he was like, he texted me one day. He's like, "This is kind of random, but do you play tennis?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I love it.
I remember being like, "Oh my God, I have to buy a tennis racket." And I was like, "I actually don't know how to play tennis, but I could hang enough."
Yeah, because are you kidding me? You're going to be potentially on the Olympic team in soccer.
Bro,
you're an athlete.
35-year-old just walking out there with a tennis racket after I've touched a soccer ball and like.
Doesn't matter. It's the whole riding the bike thing. Trust me.
Pull a hammy, but it was worth it. So
she's got it. She's got the coordination.
Alicia Chase and Billy Cox are my guests today. Visit Mississippi.org. Come on, check it out. I can't wait to have Billy and Alicia jamming on Mississippi Soul. It's going to happen. We'll be right back.
I keep doing it right. I saw the light. Sun came up in the middle of the night. Been doing it wrong for so long. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like to be doing it right. I saw the light. Sun came up in the middle of the night. Been doing it wrong for so long. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like. I sure ought to know what it finally feels like to be doing it. I'm doing it right. I'm still trying to find my way.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the Seabrook.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
I got me a brand new car.
I'm finding a whole lot about these two that I didn't know, but I had a feeling. I got a feeling. Anyway, today Alicia Chase and Billy Cox are my guests today. They are on the show, really cool music competition show called Banded, which I was a mentor on, and that's how I got to know these two beautiful souls. Talented duo now. They're a duo now because they're together. They're in love. And I love that, by the way. Visit Mississippi.org, plan a road trip, and like I said, I promise you I'll have them playing music on Mississippi soil before it's all over with, and that means pretty soon. But I'm grateful that they're on my show. Hey, guys, let's talk Banded. Let's talk about the show. Started on Axis TV, which is where my documentary Something in the Water was on, and it's a great music channel. Now it's gotten a new life on Tubi TV. There's a little bit of a buzzing of the second season. We're hoping. Very unique show. Alicia, from your viewpoint, just how did it happen? Because obviously this is what brought you two together. And was it something that you were going like, oh, yeah, I really want to do this? Like, what drew you in?
So I really worked my way up the ladder with the amazing company that I work for still, Trader Joe's. I've been with them for like going on 8 years now. It's perfect for me being an athletic person and being a former bartender and server in the restaurant industry. It's just the best job, very people-based. But anyway, I worked my way up the ladder there. I was trying to find like what I was going to do with my life, and I wanted to have a retirement plan and, health insurance, stuff like that. So I worked my way up there while I'm in Arizona. I was still doing, my stuff with Solid Rock Foundation, found out about the show. It was a very crazy time for me because I finally got promoted into the management scene with Trader Joe's, and it's a pretty awesome gig. It's more than just stocking groceries. So anyway, I try out for this thing, and it turns out it's real. Met Joe. I was like, this is real. This isn't real. Because I've tried out for other, like, voice shows when I lived in Dallas. I'd drive to Austin, and I was like, well, this one's all the way in Nashville. So I flew out, did the audition, and I was like, wow, this is real. And then I found out, hey, you made the show. And I was like, oh, my God. I didn't think it would get this far. What do I do? And it turns out, like, the filming was, like, long enough that I had to, like, come to Jesus with my company. And I was like, if I do this, should I do this? And I had my captain, Jim Shoro, is really ill-timey rock and roll fan. He was the coolest boss ever. He was like, if you don't do this, you will regret it. And he said, Trader Joe's will always be there for you. Just go. So
How cool is that? That's
it was
cool.
amazing. Great advice. I mean, this is a dude that would like be playing air guitar like up at the front of the store. Like he was the coolest. I was like, yeah, I want to be like you when I grow up. So anyway, I quit. I had to quit Trader Joe's, which was really scary. I put a lot of work into it, but I just went with my heart, and I flew out here. And just went for it. And then it was the best experience of my life. That's where I met Billy. I know he's the love of my life. I can't believe it. My life, my life just somehow just took me all the way after I finally made it back home to Phoenix, to the other side of the country. When the show was done filming, I just shacked up with my friend Amber for a while to figure it out. And I got back on with Trader Joe's in Nashville. Jim was right. They took me back. They promoted me again. And then, I just kind of stayed in Nashville. Then I started dating Billy, and it's kind of cool because we have a really cool partnership where, like, I'm, like, living vicariously through him. Like, he's really talented. Like, he's making a living at this, which is really hard out here. I mean, when we first started dating, I was like, okay, how many roommates do you have? He lives alone in his apartment that's also a studio, and he's just making it work.
Yeah, real quick, tell everybody, the master bedroom is the studio.
Yes.
That's what I call, like, I'm going to change my master. I'm going to ask my wife if I can do that.
Yeah, I was very fortunate that she signed off on that idea.
I know. I was like, do you want which guest room out of the 3 rooms? This guest room or this guest room? And he's like, I'm thinking the master.
I need some space.
I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're right. All we do is sleep in there.
It's the funniest thing. I love it.
I'm working at Trader Joe's still, and I'm very happy to be parts of little things like Joe Norelli invited me to be a part of the Solid Rock Kids album that we put out, the Rock Revival.
Let's talk about that right now because we were all on that.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that was Grammy nominated, and that's awesome. We all got to participate in that together. It was so cool. But banded-wise, for you and your band and stuff, what was the experience like for you personally? Especially coming into a house, meeting a bunch of new people you didn't know. You're put together as a band, which is something that you're supposed to be responsible for figuring out in your lifetime. And all of a sudden, you have to fall in love and make music and be on stage together.
That's right. I think I was at an advantage that I didn't come from doing that, like, as a goal. And, like, I didn't have bands and all that really. Like, I sang in one band, whatever. But I think being in, like, a management position and all the, like, different jobs that I've had, I think I was really able to, like, look at it from a different perspective and see that it was a team. And, people clash sometimes and they get all weird, but I just feel like I was, like, the peacemaker and keeping things, like, rolling and seeing the bigger picture, And I ended up playing more keys and guitar rather than singing. It just kind of worked out that way. Leah Hona and Ammon are brother and sister duo, and they're fantastic. And, like, they can break dance and stuff. Like, come on. Yeah. So they just kind of, like, were kind of, like, ended up being, like, the showstoppers. And I was cool to do those other things. It was just funny because, like I said, since it's not something that I've been pursuing hardcore, I had to really, like, I had to get in the zone. Like, I was like, oh, my God, I'm playing piano. And I'm playing, like, I don't know what like a Spanish style. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because they had. I got you. As leaders of the band, y'all were sort of as singers. You gotta had to gravitate toward what they could do. They had a vast sort of repertoire. But with that said, you brought it. I thought that seriously, right, Billy?
Mm-hmm. Agreed. She had that line.
Pour it up.
Kip Winger came in the day that you came in as a mentor, and he's like, okay, and our band had to go first, and we didn't know we were going to play in front of all the people in the house, you know, because we've all gone to our little rooms, and we're in our own worlds, and getting to know each other and all that, and like, we're hearing what other bands are doing in the house, but we don't really know. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's like, surprise, you're going to play one of the two songs y'all been writing together the past couple weeks. So you're going to do it in the house in front of everyone. And it was like, oh my God. So our band went first, and Kip was like, okay, close your eyes.
Yeah. It's Kip Winger,
and
right?
I was like,
I
was like mortified.
This was Kip Winger. He was one of the other mentors, right?
Yeah, it was Kip. Yeah, that was
Kip. Who else did it between me and Kip? Who else was it?
Oh, the guy from, he knows.
I think Kevin Lyman was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool day.
Y'all like me more than them?
Yes.
Good answer. Good answer. I don't like me more than them, but that's a good answer for you guys.
We can say it. You can't.
Yeah. Hey, Billy. So for you, I felt like you were in the right band for sort of your old school, old style. I feel like you'd have been the lead guitar player and in the band of Kansas or Queen or Kiss or, a Bad Company. I don't know. I could go on and on. There's something about your style. And now that knowing that your dad and your uncles were players, I feel like you must have gotten a lot of what they do and turned it into what you do. But it's just classic. Your playing is classic.
Thank you.
So your band was a good fit, right?
Yeah. You know, I've been, like I said, since my upbringing, like it was a lot of rock rooted stuff. So, to be in the band with those guys, it was like, you know, it'd been a while since I've started a band. So it was kind of fun in a way to just do it all again, but under different circumstances. Like, it's not like we, you know, put out ads on MySpace and had to get everybody on the same page. Just getting everybody is hard enough.
Dropping MySpace up in here.
Stay right there, though, Billy, because I want to talk about that experience. You've been putting bands together your whole life, and now they're putting a band together for you. And you guys are having to gel in this be thrown in a blender, and what's going to come out. Speaking of blenders, when it comes to music, we blended it all up for the world. Are you kidding me? Let's talk Muddy Waters while we're at it. And then there's the Rolling Stones. Let's talk Elvis Presley. And then there's the Beatles. We can go on and on and on. Visit Mississippi.org. We'll explain more. Plan a road trip to our Mississippi. As the music and culture ambassador of this beautiful state, I urge you to come visit. We won't let you leave. We'll be right back with Alicia Chase and Billy Cox, two incredibly talented souls from the TV show Bandit on TV.
Till Monday.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
This is Home Ant.
a southern born unclouded
Tubi TV should be shining right now. Visit Mississippi.org. We're the birthplace of America's music, which has allowed the world to be inspired by it, especially today's guests, Alicia Chase, Billy Cox. So, Billy, we were talking about this. So, as a guy that was always in control of his bands over his life, and now you're doing the show Banded, and you're put together, how did that go down for you?
I've been in Nashville. It was like almost a year, and then that's when that show happened. So it happened real fast for me since moving here. And then, man, the whole thing, oh, dude, the whole 2 months just flew by so quickly. But the whole concept, I loved it. I loved being, I love how we had these guidelines and these boundaries and these things we had to follow. Everyone's got 5 people, and you guys have to write these 6 songs in these 2 months, and you have to perform them. You're just dropping everything that a national band, every challenge you could think of in it, they put it in our laps. Not only that, but promoting and just working every side of the business. So it was it was very fun to just work those muscles again as we worked as a team to build a band. I love the structure of it. It's a disciplined thing that I think some of the people definitely got. Maybe some of them didn't on there. And I think that was part of the battle. You had a lot of, let's face it, there's a lot of young kids, and there's a lot of, people like me that have been doing it for a while, but the younger kids, I remember that mindset, and there's certain things that I don't see at that age, and that I'm not worried about, and they're overthinking. Maybe I've not even overthinking or what have you.
Right,
so,
right.
The task of getting everybody on that same page, mentally, emotionally, physically, all that it was fun and challenging, but it was
a lot, right?
Every minute. Yeah, it was a lot. It was.
So I felt like you sort of took a leadership role in your group, and your group was named
Silence to Static.
Yes. So I felt like that y'all all had some say, but I felt like, well, Billy sort of, to me, is like the band leader. Did you sort of take on the father role?
I did my best. Yeah. I feel like, our singer, Mike Smith, he had never been in a band.
Such a good guy. Yeah.
Great guy.
Mike.
Oh, he's beautiful. He's beautiful.
Great.
Dude, such a joy, man. Such a joy. Me and him, we did majority of the writing. We would hash out a lot of stuff, me and him. So that was a lot of fun. And our other 3, I think I had other 2 that were in a band together. And our drummer, Eli, I don't think he was in a band before that. So
you're kidding me.
Yeah.
Eli was insane.
He was a wild man.
Yeah. There was a lot going on back there.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But it was fun to kind of just, and again, kind of be the leader is something that I might have done it in the past, or maybe I haven't in my previous bands done it, but to step up and to kind of organize it and again take on that challenge was fun for me because I've been doing bands, but I've never essentially created a band at this point in my life because I really moved down here. I moved here to honestly pursue more of studio work or be a session player, somehow kind of figure out what the writing scene or the demo scene's about instead of starting a band. So I had no intentions when I moved down to do that, but I've always wanted to be on TV shows. So when
there you go.
When they came telling say you want to be on the show, I'm like, yeah, that's something I've always wanted to do. So it was a joy to kind of to do that again and go through that process.
So you have to take off what you're doing as well. So, obviously you're getting paid, but at the same time, was that difficult for you to step away from everything that you were committed to?
It was, thankfully my students are very committed to me and they're a part of my journey here and they support me. So the students were good with letting me take 2 months. All the guys I was playing with were great with letting me take 2 months and I found a sub for them. So everything outside was outside of the show. It was great. And I couldn't be more thankful for that support to have that time to do that. So after the show was over, just came back to the students and the gigs and it was still there, thankfully. So I lucked out.
To paint a picture of obviously Billy's a sweetheart and awesome and a great teacher and very talented as we know, but all of his students they look at Billy like he's a rock star. I went back to his hometown. We went to the Broadway Music Store. where he, still works remotely from Nashville. There was a line of kids there to visit. This was the first time they'd seen him since the show. And there was a line, they came to see him.
Well, of course.
It was like a book signing. They were like, hi, Dylan. And even the boss's son that he teaches, Jonathan, dressed up as Billy for Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, come on. Billy, you've arrived.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's arriving when you got somebody dressing like you for Halloween. Are you kidding?
So it was fun for them to get to see their teacher, their mentor Billy, on TV. Are you kidding? That must have been really neat for them. So they're very fortunate.
Both of you remind me of friends that I've had in Nashville. It's the people that just put the time in, but they have great compassion. Billy Cox, Alicia Chase, the show Bandit on Tubi TV. Check it out. I'm on it. I'm on an episode as a mentor, and as you can hear today, these two are very special. They were two of the more talented ones. Well, they were all talented, but I gravitated toward these, and I'm glad they took the time. So visit Mississippi.org, the birthplace of America's music. That says it all. I'll see you later. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.